Hi, my name is Dave Wood. I'm with Petron Plus Lubes, and we're distributors for Petron Plus Global Lubricants. Today I'm going to demonstrate something just for you sports people, especially those of you who like guns, like me. If you've ever had a gun jam, it can be really, really annoying. But Petron Plus can really significantly reduce the possibilities of that. So your gun, who knows, it might never jam again. So I have the Timken test machine here, as you've seen before. And if you watch the video, the first video that I made on Petron Plus oil lubricants for friction and wear, you'll see exactly how this whole thing gets set up. But because of time, I'm going to kind of jump ahead here a little bit. I have the bearing set up in the jig there. You can see it's a brand new bearing. And I have the roller bearing on the Timken machine. Now, something you've never seen me do on any of the demonstrations, and I do it before I always do the demonstration, but I'll show you here. I first of all do what you should always do with any bearing, of course, is sand them down. So I use 120 grit sandpaper here, and I'm sorry I have to turn my back to you, but I have to work the machine, but I have cameras set up here so you can see what I'm doing, hopefully. But I just sand this down, you know, and make sure that there's no lubricant on there. And of course the sandpaper makes for a really nice smooth surface. So it's clean, nothing on there. Just so you know, that's how I kind of get started, so you can see, you know, how we do it here. Now, I'm also not going to calibrate the machine because I've showed you how to do that before in those other demonstrations with no lubrication whatsoever. It usually takes 2 of these weights. Remember, each one of these weights weighs just slightly under a pound. If I get all 24 weights on there, I'm looking at 22.2 pounds of pressure, more than 150,000, probably closer to 200,000 psi on that bearing, okay? And remember, on this demonstration, I'm not running a crankcase, so we're not running in oil here. I'm just going to lubricate the roller bearing there and then put the test jig bearing on there and see what happens. Now, my son, I don't even know what brand this is. I'm not going to say what it is. He told me this was his gun oil that he bought. Someone told him, I don't know, a gunsmith or somebody, told him to buy this stuff. It's really good for oil. It says for guns and all kinds of stuff on here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of this on that bearing. Get a little coating on there. You can see it splashing off there, so I've got enough on there, I think. And I'm going to take the test jig here and put it on there. Okay. And now we're going to add weights and see just how that oils up. So there's 1 weight, there's 2, and at 2 weights it killed the thing dead. So 2 weights stop that motor. And like I always do, we'll wipe this down. Just out of curiosity, we'll put that under there and see what the wear mark was like for that time on there. Okay. And you can see the wear mark on there is, you know, only took a few seconds, less than 30 for it to stop the machine. So, okay. So now, I'm not even going to wipe that oil off. I'll wipe it off, because if I don't wipe it off, you'll think, oh, that's what's doing it. So we'll wipe this off, wipe it clean. Okay. And I'm going to turn this bearing to a new spot, like I've done in the other demonstrations. We'll rotate it around there a little bit. Okay. And now I'm going to add the Petron Plus weapon oil. Comes in a nice little tube here, about 4 ounces. Has a little, you know, not just good for weapons, but you could use it for your fishing reels. I fish, you know, whatever. And I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to put some of this on that bearing. There we go. And we'll put the test jig back on again. And we'll see what happens. And you can hear, I think, you can already hear a sound difference. So it took 2 weights to stop the other one. So we'll put 2 on there to start with. It's going with 2 and running. We'll go 2 more. That's 4. That's twice as many weights on there. Put 2 more on there. 3 times as many weights. That's 8. 4 times as many weights. Now I really don't know if I can get all 24 weights on here or not. Again, we're not running with a crankcase here, but there's 10, 5 times as many weights. Still running and still pretty darn quiet. I really haven't heard any change in the... There's 12 weights. That's half my stack right there. That little swinging motion adds a little extra to it. There's 14 weights. Now, you can kind of see what this might be doing to your action in your guns, right? I mean, you talk about smooth. This is smooth. So, I think that's 16 weights. Might have lost count here. There's 18. Now, this thing is starting to smoke too, because, I mean, it's getting hot because it's running with no oil, but there's 19, 20. 20 weights still running, no difference in sound. There's 23 and 24. And I'll tell you, that's heavy. You know, there's a lot of pressure on that bearing, and it finally stopped with that much weight. Now, what's really interesting though is I added those weights pretty fast. Just, you know, so what if I do? I'm just going to try see if I can do this. See if I lift this up and just bring it down gradually, if it'll just get enough. Now this thing has been smoking here for a while. But see, if I just lift it up and bring it back down again gradually, it'll stop again because that bearing is hot. But, I mean, look at this. I mean, there's no crankcase there running in, and it's been running at that temperature where it's been smoking, and 24 weights on there, whereas the other gun oil took 2 weights to stop. So what would you like to have on your weapon? Safe for the bore, safe for the mechanics, the bolts, whatever. And I think you can see that it's a pretty good product. So again, you can go to our website, petronpluslubes.com, and you'll see information there. You'll also see links to petronplusglobal.com. You can go there and read all about this stuff. All about these products. They have all kinds of products. If you haven't looked at the demonstrations for the automotive products, you need to go there and look at the oil supplements on the demonstrations. And they make many, many, many lubrication products. So I'm going to do another demonstration sometime for their Super Lube, which is probably one of the best, if not the best, lubricant that you can use just for lubricating almost anything, doors, squeaks, whatever. It stays on there and it does the same thing as this does. It really just runs and runs. So until then, until next time, happy hunting, happy shooting, get some Petron weapon oil in your gun and you will both be happy. Till then, take it easy. See you next time.